Oh,
So basically, as Lisa has mentioned, there's this article from the Scottish Sun, the Oracle, and it's got a picture of me in a red dress and red heels and black tights, which is a terrible outfit. I thought it was wonderful at the time. And we found it in his mum's stuff, which we got given when she was moved into a home with dementia. And I don't think we've ever gone through any of this stuff until the other day. He was going through it with my daughter, and he was like, "I didn't know you were in the Sun," and I was like, "Neither did I. What?" But I'd obviously just forgotten. And he pulled this article out, which was like, "Sexy Alice Grist is the." Anyway, it just started off as the first word "sexy," and then banging on about me being an ex-model. And apparently I said this thing about, "Honey, you're just as spiritual as you are," which maybe something I said, but I'm not ever going to admit to that. So yeah, and so it's like over 10 years old. So this is what I'm talking about, and what I wanted to bring to the table tonight was this idea of little walks down memory lane. And I feel, and maybe you guys have had this experience, or I don't know, maybe it's just me, but literally in the past week, it has been relentless walking down memory lane, but not on purpose. These things just keep coming up in my life, and I wonder if it's a little bit to do with the Mercury being in retrograde, like some kind of weird side effect of that. Like, and it doesn't feel negative. I feel like I've done a lot of work over the last few years where I have had to sit with darker memories and tumultuous stuff and turmoil. And you do get to a point where I remember at one point thinking, God, has my life just been awful? Which it really hasn't. And it's like I'm being granted all of these other memories of happy times and good times and silly times and red dresses in bloody the Scottish Sun, to kind of remind me of actually the totality and the wholeness of what my life has been. So I've written down a little list of the different things that have come up.
I've had another one.
Oh, share us. What was that, Liz?
Well, because my business is like 11 years old. And it's, my ideas are so ahead of their time that basically we're back to where we started. And it's quite apparent that what the original business idea was, which is mental health prevention, is what schools need now, but it's taken 11 years for just the profile of this issue to be raised, so that people realize that they need what we're having a meeting about marketing and messaging, and it's all like stuff I've been saying for like 12 years. I'm like, why am I
the expert?
Yeah.
Do you know what, you just saying that has just triggered in me another memory, is the fact that when I started off doing this, even before I wrote any books, I had Soul Cafe was a little.
Yeah, I was on Soul Cafe.
Yes, the Soul Cafe. But then I got pregnant. So not long after the Scottish Sun article, I got pregnant and then just decided it was all too much, and then just didn't do it again really until this past year. So it is this really interesting curve of a circle of like whatever it is. So I've written Saturday night down on my list. Oh, Saturday night, because my daughter came home from school today, and for the Jubilee show, she has had to learn the dance to Saturday Night by Wigfield, which just triggered like when I was out in Spain and I was like 15 or 16, and it was before the song got big. And we like bought a tape of it off the street, and we were like, this song's going to be huge. And we came back to England and everybody knew it, which was really annoying because it was our holiday song. So that was like such amazing memories. Then the Sun article, then I had to swap my phone, which I swapped back to an iPhone, and it was a pain in the ass, to be frank. But when I actually got into the phone and I figured everything out, I had a whole host of messages from WhatsApp from like 6 years ago, which were including messages with my mother-in-law, who now has dementia and can't hold a conversation, but all the photographs as well that I'd sent to my mum and to her with the baby photos and stuff that I don't have actively anywhere else at the minute. So that was really lovely. Friends popping up, just old school friends, again, from about 10, 11 years ago. And also just things like spending time with my mother-in-law. We went to see her on Friday, myself and my husband, and we were dreading it because she's been in a bad way with her dementia, very emotional, very, very tearful. And actually, she was really happy. She was contented, and she kept rolling her eyes at him as if to say, what's he about? What's he on about? Which is what she always used to do. To me and her had a thing, and he'd be being typical bloke, and she'd roll her eyes and talk. She was doing that. It was just like, Oh my gosh, you're still in there. You can't express yourself, but you're still in there. So all of these, I don't know, amazing things going on. So I guess obviously Liz is experiencing that. Some of you might be, but just maybe look out for it. It's just maybe it feels, particularly because Liz is saying it's been 10, 11 years. For me, this is stuff 10, 11 and further back. But just, yeah, it makes me feel like sometimes we can be a bit negative about our past, or if we're healing, we're trying to always focus on the stuff that felt difficult and dark, and we're trying to heal that, and we just forget about all that lightness and all of the silliness and the fun and the doing the Saturday night dance to Wigfield or whatever it happens to be. And actually maybe now is a really pertinent time to kind of go down memory lane, or to allow those memories to bubble up in whatever way they do, and just think, okay, it's not all hardship and horrors or difficulties, or, there's been so much pleasure and fun, and actually to use that as a catalyst for the path forward. Because I feel like even my hair, like I've been a bit blonde on and off for years, but that just feel like maybe getting my hair going backwards in time and getting my hair blonder has been a catalyst as well, to just recognizing there were parts of me that mattered that I have shut down. I don't know. And like Liz was saying about with your friends from 8 years ago, and you've all had kids, and now you're only just sort of getting back together. What parts of us do we shut down to allow for other parts, whether that's motherhood or a job or a relationship? And then they start to bubble up again in all these really interesting ways. So I guess it's worth looking out for. So I'm going to pull us some cards and stuff in a minute, just on this theme of memory lane. But before I do, has anyone got any thoughts or questions or reflections on any of that?
Only to add to it that one of the our original program, I said to Chris, my business partner today, do you think we should like redo the original program basically and bring it back? It's like, I think people are ready for it now.
Yeah, they probably are. And I think so much has happened in the last decade. Like social media has changed the landscape massively. I see that with the spiritual stuff. 10 years ago when I was writing the high heel guides, nobody really cared or was that interested.
I love those high heel guides.
I know, look, they're here. I've got them out because I've just
look at them sometimes.
These are things that I just put to the back of my memory and just shoved them in drawers, and actually they're a big part of why I'm here. So I've put them on the shelf right there so I can allow them and whatever's in them to be present.
They are like what the Cosmic Sisterhood's about. A mixture of everything spiritual, aren't they? With tarot as a major sort of thread through everything.
Yeah, and the tarot being a major thread is something I've only come about really allowed to happen in the last few years. I didn't really let myself go there before. But anyway, we are there now. But now it's like I'm here, I'm established, tarot, but also, okay, let's get all that fun stuff back out again and start looking at all these different elements of spirituality, and not always in like a super serious way, but just in a what's happening for us at any given moment and what's bubbling up. So, and I met you, Liz, as well, I'm sure, around all that sort of time.
We met at
was a networking
event in Leicester, and you'd just written your book and got it, the first one, you got it published.
Oh my gosh.
And I just set up my first business, which I closed.
Babies.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I know something else funny, right? So when I first met my husband, because I was on Soul Cafe and he Googled me, and he saw me on there and he read all my posts, and I was so embarrassed.
Oh my gosh, well, at least with the mic.
Don't cringe about it.
Do you even remember what the Soul Cafe was hosted on? Was it like MySpace or something?
Yeah, it was a forum-y thing, wasn't it? It's basically a membership before they even existed, really, but you didn't charge anything for it.
I didn't charge anything for it, and then just stopped it. And I regret that because I made a lot of friends in that time that I'm still sort of vaguely in contact with. I went and learned Reiki with one woman who lived near my mum in Birmingham. I'm still sort of in contact with her loosely, and yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that was a mistake actually closing it down, but we're back with a bang. And some of the original cast. So that is fantastic. Right, let me pull us some cards about what this memory lane business is about. And if you aren't experiencing, then perhaps me just bringing it up in conversation will provoke that to happen, because that, I think, just
Well,
makes
maybe
you
it's just
feel
us, they're the same age, Alice. Maybe it's like that. I don't know.
more- could be. How old are you?
44.
Right, I'm nearly 44 in September.
Only 44 in February, so I've not been long 44.
No, just stay this side of 45 for a bit longer.
Yeah.
For those of us who are 50 this year.
Oh, Lisa, 50.
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to have a big party?
God, no.
No.
No, something low key will be fine for me. I like to, for our 40th, me and my best mate, we said, we're not 40 just for a day, we're 40 for the whole year. So we did loads of different things that year. So I think we want to try and do something similar.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for my 50th. Hopefully not have tonsillitis like I did for my 40th.
Oh,
I was so ill. Like, so I'm never that ill really, but I just, oh God, the pain. And my mum had like an Alice in Wonderland party and went out of her way to do all this amazing stuff. And I was just so ill. Oh, anyway, okay. So the cards, memory lane. Oh, okay, so we have the Hierophant. This is the Medicine Woman deck. It says Peacemaker at the bottom. And that feels really right. It feels like sometimes our memories that come up do act as a peacemaker and perhaps act as a higher wisdom to the wisdom we might otherwise be focused on, or the situations we might be focused on. So I think earlier I was suggesting that, you know, we all have these traumas and difficulties and all this stuff that we're trying to overcome, and grief and losses, but actually in nice memories bubbling up, or funny memories, or entertaining memories bubbling up, how are they acting in that role as peacemaker? How are they gifting us some kind of solace and understanding of who we are, who we always were, and how we can still be all these different facets of ourselves in and amongst the grief and sorrow, but also hold wisdom, and also hold, like, you've got all these different characters down the bottom. And then this one version here, that's like the divine kind of offering, opening doors. Oh, which is interesting because I sent an email out about this session just to my general email list to see if anybody wanted to attend. But there was the image that I used was one of doors opening. So maybe in connecting with the memories, we're opening doors that we'd previously closed or not allowed ourselves to open, which is interesting because I know with my career there was a lot of things I did not allow myself to do until recently, so perhaps that's why my memory is backtracking me to certain things, like, okay, that's where we were, let's start again. Yeah, okay, I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing and meowing and meowing. She's very old, bless her. Right, okay, I'm going to do a Yoni Oracle card, and then we'll just do a little mini meditation. You might have noticed I've extended the session a little bit tonight. It was 15 minutes, but I feel like I always overran anyway, so I might as well just give myself the grace to go on for half an hour. Yeah, and I do miss it when we've not got sessions that frequently. So, all right, let's have a look. So in terms of memory lane, the Yoni Oracle cards have to say to us, oh, so dream weaving Yoni. And then she's like almost weaving a dream from her period blood. Obviously quite an intimate card there. And she's sleeping. Let me read the meaning of that because I'm not sure off the top of my head what that would be. Makes me think about the life that we could live if we were to just give over and relax. But let's see what this says. Oh, I like the first line, really speaks to the idea of memories coming back. Okay, call back your own energetic cords and weave a new dream. And then it gets quite intimate, right? Each partner you have had an intimate connection with, as well as each exchange throughout your life, has created energetic cords, ties weaving a web throughout time. How do you feel about this web? Is it time to pull back in these silver threads and reweave your own personal web of love and abundance? Well, I think that's just spot on. Like, all these memories coming up are part of this web that we've weaved, and now we get to choose how we're going to reweave it. Okay, does your current web hold old emotions, patterns, and scenarios? Now is your time to call back your energy and begin to weave a new dream. Okay, hang on. Great. So this is giving us now a visualization, which I'm going to just take us straight into meditation with. We might as well just do it. So if you close your eyes, hands over your heart, and we will take 3 lovely deep breaths, and we'll bring ourselves straight into this visualization in a moment. So I'm loving this idea of weaving a new dream with all our old energy. Okay, so just imagine that you are by or in a body of water. So you might be in a beautiful little woodland pool, you might be in a lake, the ocean, you might be by a waterfall, but you're certainly within water, which is interesting because as we begin June, we'll be beginning with our water meditation. So you might, when you have some time, get into the network and undertake the water meditation too. But imagining you are in this beautiful body of water and it feels really cleansing, really clearing. And we're thinking gently about these threads that we have weaved throughout our lives, the emotions, the patterns, the scenarios, the people that we have known, the partners, the friendships, all of these energetic cords sort of interacting with one another and creating our reactions, creating our patterning on our scenarios, and recognizing that some of this has served us and some of this is really healthy and empowering, and yet some of it at the same time is perhaps time to let go of so that we can begin to reweave. And I want you to, in your body of water now, imagine a loving grandma, an elderly, wise grandma stepping forward. It can be your own grandma, or it could be an ancestral grandma, almost like a Mother Earth version of a goddess grandma. And she has a beautiful vessel, which she is now filling with the water that you stand in and pouring it over your head, over your womb, over your heart, over your shoulders, your crown chakra, all the way down. And perhaps you're quite deep in the water now, maybe waist deep, allowing the water that you stand in to cleanse, to shift. And as you stand in this water with this beautiful crone-like grandmother pouring water all over you and all around you, you're allowing each drop of the water to clear and cleanse any stories or any emotions that are standing in your way, evoking only positive emotions, positive stories that can leave fresh, fertile energy for new dreams. And at the same time, imagine taking hold of the silver cords, the silver threads of your personal story, noticing how they perhaps hang in the air around you, and just gathering them into your hands. In doing so, recognizing that you are taking back control over your energetic cords to start to weave the life that you desire, that you hope for, and that you deserve, and that you came to this planet to live within and to experience. And then you notice that the beautiful grandmother who is pouring the water on you has finished, and she just stands in front of you with her palms up, creating a pink light of unconditional love from her hands, and then places her hands over your chest, over your heart, infusing you with this unconditional love of the ancestors and of spirit, allowing any final unhelpful cords, any patterns to drop away into the water. Feeling the intense love that she brings and that she offers, and recognizing that it's within you at all times. And recognizing the power of each and every memory as it arises, as being something to either hold on to, as an inspiration, as a catalyst, or to release, and trusting that you will know what to do with each memory. My grandma removes her hands now and steps back, and as she does, she begins to gently vanish as she sends her love to you. Bringing yourself now back away from the water, feeling cleansed and clear, taking a big refreshing breath. And then whenever you're ready, having a little shake and a wiggle, feeling your feet on the ground, connecting, earthing yourself and returning to the room.
I had another one. I remember
Go on then, Liz.
when I was at the gym this morning, I've been working really hard on like getting my weightlifting back. I was like, this is the level I was at like 10 years ago before I had the kids, and I'm really happy like to finally get my training to the level I want it to be and really enjoy it like I used to before when I was single and stuff. Thought that this morning as well.
See, there you go. It's just see, I've been feeling quite compelled to try to be more. I mean, I was quite physically engaged for a while there, but it's just slipped. And it's got to the point now I don't even want to do it for any reason other than health. And like, I guess the reasons I was doing it when I was younger was because I was young and I could. And you want to look better. It's all about how you look, isn't it, to a certain extent? But now it's just, I just want to be strong and healthy and back a little bit closer to how I felt then, rather than feeling slightly old and decrepit as I do some days now, just tired all the time. So, the really interesting thing that I just wanted to share with you, should all go and find out if you have an astrology chart knocking around the place, or if you can find out your astrology chart, which you often can do on just Google, find out where Aries is in all your houses, because Jupiter, and this is my very sketchy knowledge of astrology, but Jupiter has moved into Aries, or Aries has moved into Jupiter. Anyway, they're aligned at the minute, and I think they will be for quite some time. And it's a big deal in terms of that space in your houses, in your chart, will be seeing massive upgrades over the coming period of time, which I don't know how long that period of time is. But I had a look at my chart, that I have a little physical chart, and my Aries was in the 6th house or the 7th house. So that's where Jupiter has moved to. So mine is all to do with physicality and being embodied and health, and also the home, which I thought was really interesting. And apparently, so in that area, I'll see lots of development and growth moving forward. So go find out where you have Aries in your chart, and that area of your life should be seeing some rapid evolution over coming months, which I just thought was really interesting. And something to focus on. It's giving me a kick up the bum to think, okay, so if Jupiter's telling me I need to have this improvement in my physical self, then I'm going to go with that and see where it takes me. So worth looking up. And if you don't know your chart, you can, like I say, go Google it, and you can put your date of birth in and get sort of rough estimations of times and houses and stuff like that. So something fun to go away and have a play with. Okay, ladies, right, I'm going to go, and thank you for coming. We'll have another session on Thursday, a quick one on Thursday. I am going to start rolling out different lessons and meditations that people can undertake at different times, just so that everybody who is in the group, or who might be thinking of joining the group over from the tarot course that I'm running at the minute, will have access to something. so you can make time, you know, every week to do something and don't feel like you're missing out. And that is the plan. All right, then, have a beautiful evening, eventful evening with lots of only happy memories bubbling up, I hope. All right, then.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.